Hey guys, Haz here at Shield Canine. I want to talk to you guys today about that video I posted of my dog Gage working in the training room. I posted this video on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, and it had a lot of positive responses. Some negative responses, but that's par for the course when you show your work. And a lot of questions. So I want to address some of those questions, and let's get into it a little bit. So, number one, in terms of how do I do it? A lot of people ask me, how do you do that with your dog? What do you do? How do you do? There's a lot of conjecture. Oh, you can only do that with high drive dogs. You can only do that, with German Shepherds or Malinois or whatever. Now listen, there's a reason, guys, a lot of dog trainers, their demo dog is a Belgian Malinois or a Border Collie. Those are the two favorite demo dogs of all dog trainers, okay? And if they have any fancy obedience or tricks to show, it's always with 99% of them, it's with one of those two breeds. And the reason why is those two breeds are fast twitch dogs, okay? I call them fast twitch because they move really fast. Even if they don't have that much drive, if you can half-ass train the dog and he has some good understanding of what he's doing, they generally are pretty fast and they can look pretty slick if you have even some ability with the dog. Now, what I am impressed by is when somebody is able to make precision, power, and obedience with a non-traditional dog, or with a dog that maybe doesn't have that natural speed to the dog, doesn't have that natural fancy way of moving. There are some dogs, they move fancy. Okay, it doesn't matter how you train them. They move nice. They have nice action in the front. Okay, they're just naturally slick and fancy. And there are some dogs, man, they move like a donkey. They're ugly. They don't move very well. Gage is one of those dogs. But before Gage was a twinkle in his daddy's eye, I had a dog named Beast, de Familia Balkan. And he was a black FCI registered Presa Canario. You got to go back in my YouTube channel. You got to go back a ways. Couple years. I'm going to put his video above. I have a couple videos maybe of him doing some obedience. And back in those days, I didn't video very much, unfortunately. So I don't have so much of the work that I did with him documented, but I have enough to show you probably the best. And I say this without arrogance, even though I am prone to being a little bit arrogant. Probably the best trained Presa Canario you will ever see in video. And I've never seen a better one in video or in person. Not because of the things he could do. There are lots of Presas that can do a lot of different things. The way he did it, he was performing the same way that you see Gage performing, right? And it's important. This is important. And I'm going to tell you why. If you know anything about Presa Canario, you know they're not fast. They're in the Mastiff family. They're just not naturally fast dogs. Okay? And especially obedience-wise. They are not known for their speed and precision in obedience. And yet, if you watch this video, you will see me working Beast. I don't even think I do a reward in the video. Like, I don't give him a piece of food. I don't give him a ball. I don't give him nothing in the video. You will see the best work you've probably ever seen with a Presa Canario. Because I got into that dog's emotions. He was the first dog who I really started going down the path of playing the dog's emotions like you play a musical instrument. And I just kind of started. And I didn't quite know really what I was doing in the context of the playing with the dog's emotions. I had an idea of where I wanted to get, and I started doing different things to get there, and I almost accidentally started down that path. Before Beast, obviously, I knew how to train dogs. But there's training, and then there's training, and there's levels to this stuff. So at that point in my professional and skills development, I wasn't at the point where I kind of understood the game of playing with the dog's emotions. There were people on the video that I did of Gage, my German Shepherd, and for those of you that don't know, a video of him in my training room recently, if you didn't watch it, and it's me and him, and he's doing some nice healing, and he's playing with me in a ball and stuff like this. And there's like 6, 7 other dogs in the room. A lot of them are barking at him, like this close to him. Some of them are even trying to jump on him, and his only attention, his only fixation is me, okay? And a lot of people are saying this is only possible with a high drive dog. And listen, I'm not gonna lie to you, drive sure helps, but Beast was not a high drive dog by any stretch of the imagination. He liked food, but he wouldn't die for it. He had very mediocre food drive, okay? He had almost next to no ball drive as the way I rate it. So how did I get him to do that stuff? Why is he so fast in this video that you're watching? Why is he blasting himself into the plots, into the stand? Why is he moving like that? You'll never see another Presa move like that, right? Not unless the owner, like, look, if you've got a Presa that has like really high prey drive and you're like wiggling a ball in his face and you're kind of baiting them around with the ball, sure, maybe you can get that, but you put that ball away, you're not going to see what you saw from Beast. Now, it's not because I'm the best dog trainer in the world. I love to tell you I am. There are other trainers that are farther down the path of playing the dog's emotions like a harp than I am, but they're too good to waste their time on a Presa. I was at that time where I was a little bit arrogant enough to believe that I could go there with a Presa. And of course I can. And I did. And you can see the video. But obviously I can go farther with a competition bred dog, with a dog that's bred for performance, right? But just to show you guys what you can do with a dog that has lower drive, right, as we judge things, especially when compared to a Malinois or German Shepherd, what you can achieve, what you can accomplish. So you can see video of that, and you can see that I'm not just talking. A lot of dog trainers or people that claim to train talk. And I'm not going to just talk. I always show my work, whether you like it or not. I show you my work so you can judge the value of what comes out of my mouth. And some of you might think, well, I've seen his work and it's not for me, so who cares what he says? And some of you obviously don't think that, otherwise my channel wouldn't be growing, for which I appreciate you guys. But after Beast, there was another dog. And again, I don't think I have very many videos of him. I'm not even going to try to find one and link it. But if you look back, I know you will find one. His name was Malice von den Ruxlagen, and I'm probably mispronouncing Ruxlagen. And he was a Pepper vom Cap Carthago son, and I kept him for about a year, and I trained him from puppy onwards. And I got him subscribing to the religion of Has, so to speak, a little bit more even than Beast. To the point that when I decided to sell the dog, because he wasn't quite what I wanted out of a competition dog, I decided to sell him. And when I was showing the dog to people, he wouldn't look away from me, right? It was actually a problem. It was kind of annoying because I wanted the dog to kind of, you bring the dog into the room, people meet him, he licks them on the face, it's love, blah, 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 right? But he wouldn't even look at the damn people. He was looking at me. They were petting him on the back. He's barking at me and trying to get me to do something for him, right? That's not drive. You will always be limited. And this is one thing I found out relatively early in my dog training career. If your only game is food and your only game is a ball, then you will always be limited by your dog's drive for the food or for the ball. Not that it's not a limitation, but you will be severely limited. Because there's a lot of dogs, they have drive for food or for a ball or whatever, tug, but it's just not enough to really get you very far. But if you know how to play their emotions, how to get that dog to a high state of emotional frustration, if you know how to give that dog a dopamine rush, if you know how to play on that dog's levers and buttons, you can get the most out of that dog that you can possibly get. And that's the path of when I talk about emotions, that's what I'm talking about. When I started down this anyway, sorry, quickly, I digress. Back to Malice. Yeah, he wasn't looking at people, even when they were trying to meet him. There was no ball, there was no food, there was nothing. I just brought the dog in to meet people, and he was so conditioned to just work for me and with me that he couldn't even think about people.
New text message from 250505996.
Sorry, guys. Anyways, point being, where was I? I got sidetracked. Point being, at that moment, I had an aha moment. I said, what if I go even farther down this path with my next dog? How can I possibly lose when I compete with him? How can I possibly lose? I think we'll be on the world level if I can get this emotion in the obedience, in the tracking, and in the protection. So that's the path that I'm going on now with Gage. And whether we get to the world level or not remains to be seen. But I like where I am so far with him. And you guys saw a little piece of that in the video. And that's not an exceptional video. That's not like, ooh, you know, he's doing real good today, I want to show you guys something. That's like, hey, I do this every day. Actually, I probably should take a video of this and show this, because I haven't really been very good at documenting a lot of the stuff we do. People think I put out a lot of videos. Really, for the amount of dogs that we train and the stuff that we do and the things that we have done, I don't put out nearly enough. And, you know, we're blessed to be able to train as many dogs that we have. We're blessed to be able to have our hands on so many good dogs and even really bad dogs, and to show our work with those dogs. So I really have decided that I have to make more of an effort. It's almost like a job, guys. Well, it's not almost. It is a job to video these dogs. Anyways, point being, because I keep getting sidetracked by stuff, how do I do it? How do you get to that place? It's not food. It's not a ball. I mean, those things certainly help. But again, if that's all your game is, then you're going to be severely limited. It's more than that. It's getting into the emotions of the dog. And I don't know how to tell you to do it like in a step-by-step process, because there is no step-by-step process, because every dog's different. Things that work for one dog will not work for another dog. But here's the formula, the basic formula. Find what makes your dog really excited. Like, what's the ultimate, like, satisfaction for your dog? And usually it's more than one thing, right? Again, it's not the food. It's not the ball. That can be the culmination, but it's not just that. Find what gets your dog excited. Find what makes your dog happy. Like, not just like happy, I'm like, woo! Find that. And then give that to your dog several times. Then start to frustrate your dog by withholding that from your dog and then giving that to your dog. And then mix obedience into that. So ask for obedience. Make the dopamine rush. Ask for obedience. Make some frustration. Go back to the obedience. Go to the dopamine rush. Obedience, dopamine rush. Obedience, frustration. Obedience, frustration. Obedience, frustration, dopamine rush. And start playing with it until you can think of your dog as a power bar. The emotion that your dog's showing, like, right? High level emotion, happy emotion, like medium emotion, and low emotion. Take your dog to the maximum level and put that into the obedience, and you're going to get what I got. And show your dog that dopamine, that woo! Give your dog that dopamine rush in the obedience repeatedly. And it's not just the reward. Now look, there are some dogs, extreme ball drive. You just pop that ball for them every single time. Listen, I've had a few of them, right? You pop that ball for them every single time and they're going to just give you that naturally. But there's a lot of dogs that are not, right? There's a lot of dogs, like I was saying before, they don't move nice. They might work well. Like Gage is an example. He's a small dog. He's kind of ugly, to be honest with you. The only reason people notice him is because of the intensity and power he puts into the work. But even then, you wouldn't see it nearly as much as you see it if I didn't spend a lot of time working on his expression, because his expression isn't naturally very good. Like, he just doesn't move nice. I think it's just the way he's built, right? He's just built really square and short, and, you know, he's kind of a little bit turned out on the chest right now. I think as he widens out, as the testosterone kicks in and his chest and his... Listen, the dog still doesn't lift his leg to pee, guys, okay? He's a late bloomer in terms of, like, being a male. I'm starting to see some signs of it now. But, you know, he doesn't move nice. I really had to work a lot to get that. I'm still working on it. That speed. And I'm really thankful for Beast, that black Presa that I had. Because, oh, there is no black Presa. For those of you in the Presa game, you know there's always those idiots. They're jealous because they can't afford a black Presa, or they can't get their hands on a black Presa. They want to, oh, there is no black Presa. 2 years later, when they can finally scrape the money together, or they finally manage to get their hands on a Presa, they're showing off their black Presa on Facebook. Anyways, I digress once again. Beast taught me how to make a slow, not so slick moving dog look good in the movement. So I was able to move that into Gage, and Gage looks good so far. But it's a struggle because he wants to be ugly, man. He wants to be powerful, but he wants to be ugly. Think of it as like a Dodge Charger, the Hellcat, with the rear wheel drive, and you're trying to do a lot of this, and you just keep spinning out. So much power, not a lot of traction control, right? That's beast. I got to really work on the track. I got to work on the control and the frame and helping him find his frame. It's fun, man, because look, if it wasn't a challenge, it wouldn't be fun. But I'll give you an example. Dizzy, the Malinois that I had, I should say. She's not nearly the dog Beast is. She's not nearly as good. Lower drive, very sensitive, right? She's still faster than him. Why is she faster than him? Because she's a Malinois. Fast twitch. Everything's fast. He's a German Shepherd in every sense of the word. He's a very classic German Shepherd, just like his father, Onyx. Now, Onyx I got when he was 3.5. I never had a chance to really indoctrinate him into the religion of Has, so to speak. And you know why I call it a religion, guys? Because it's just like a religion. It's not tangible. It's not do this, 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 and this, and you'll get what I got. It's not like that. And it's not like that for the dog, because every dog's different. The way it works is you have to create a belief in your dog. Just like, and listen, I'm a man of God. I believe in God. I'm a religious man. Well, probably not as religious as many, but I am religious. It's a belief. It's a combination of pressure and reward. And most of the pressure, most of the reward is not tangible, right? We believe in consequences if you don't do the right thing, and we believe in rewards if you do the right thing, right? But it's not tangible. Hellfire right now isn't tangible. God's displeasure right now isn't tangible. It's a perception, but it's not tangible. Same thing with the reward, right? The heaven or God's blessings. Some people would be like, well, the skeptics or the atheists would be like, well, you just got that stuff because you worked hard. But if you're religious, you believe that good things come to you because God so wills it and because you've done things to please him, right? So, or maybe not. But you guys get the idea. The pressures that control you in religion and the rewards that motivate you in religion are primarily non-tangible if you're a true believer. So as a dog trainer, your job is to make your dog a true believer. Now, obviously, for pet dogs, it's a little bit different than for, family dogs. Sorry, for competition dogs. Gage is a competition dog. So the obedience that I want from him is different than for a pet dog, but the concept is the same. The first thing I do, and I'll conclude on this because I could talk about this stuff for an hour. I have a student working with me right now. He has one of my puppies. It was a nice puppy. He's kind of messing it up now, but regardless, it was a nice puppy. And he's not messing it up because he's a bad guy or because he doesn't work hard. It's because he's struggling. Listen, it's his first competition dog. He's probably doing better than I did with my first competition dog. He's struggling with the concept of playing on the dog's emotions, and for him, it's still about behaviors. If you make a sit about a sit, you will only ever have a sit. If you make a sit about an emotion and then a sit, you will have a sit, right? You'll have a sit where someone's like, oh, what did I just see? That was a sit like I've never seen before, or healing, or whatever it is, right? So if you make it about barking, if you make it about sit, about down, about healing, instead of about the emotion within the behavior, you're just going to get the behavior, and it'll be whatever it'll be. If it's a Malinois or Border Collie, it'll probably be halfway decent looking. If it's not, then it might look not so good, but it's there, and people are still impressed by it just being there. For me, I want it more than just there. I want the wow factor. I'm shooting for the wow factor. Now, maybe I'll fly too close to the sun like Icarus, and I'll burn my wings off, and I'll be like, okay, I can't do that again. Maybe I won't. That's the challenge. Now, this guy, who's a student of mine, has one of my puppies. He brought his puppy in one day, and his puppy, I got tired of it, because this puppy would come in the room and start barking at the other dogs and the other people and be pulling. And I say, stop letting him do that. He's stealing your energy. It's my dog. I'm competing with him. His energy, his focus, his dopamine, his satisfaction belongs to me. How dare he waste it on another dog and another person? That's mine. Find a way to make him give it to you, and then make that rewarding for him. So that's the key, guys. Think of it like that. If my dog goes in a room and starts barking, hey, stop that! You bark at me. You don't bark at that other dog. How dare you? That's mine. Give it back to me. That's a good boy. You give it to me. Right? That's what you do. Don't let them waste their energy elsewhere. Now, if it's a pet dog, I don't want him to bark at me. But I don't want him barking at anybody else either. I'm not going to let him self-satisfy environmentally or socially with anyone other than myself. Okay? Environmentally is in like a car goes by. He wants to be excited about the car. Don't be excited about that car. There's nothing for you to be excited about. Don't let him self-satisfy. The more you let him self-satisfy with strange dogs, strange people, strange cars, right? Whatever, the less dog that's going to be there for you when you need